Let's get started. So what are LLMs? Imagine you have your phone, right? You go on your keyboard, type, say, hello, and at the top of your keyboard, you will see certain words that are suggestions on what you could type next. Now, sometimes those suggestions are accurate, sometimes they're not. That is basically a language model that is built straight into your phone. And a language model is trained on things you write and algorithms. Now, a large language model, like ChatGPT, is trained on literally everything we have ever written. Now, all the web, books, poems, articles, blog posts, science journals, research papers, archives. This data is very carefully cherry-picked because giving AI the wrong data can damage not only the training process, but the model in general. However, this data is not up-to-date data. There are safety policies placed into all companies. They are forbidden by law to use knowledge up to this day. There has to be a cutoff at a certain point. Usually, it's a period of 1 year. So that's what a large language model is. It is basically autocomplete on your phone, but scaled up a trillion times. All it does is predict text. Now, it can predict sentences, it can predict words, sometimes it predicts even entire paragraphs. That is what it does. So LLMs are not browsers. They do not look up information, unless, of course, the user permits this. And this is popular. For example, Gemini, I think, has this by default. But this is called RAG. And this is one way models use to bypass this knowledge cutoff. But if the users do not permit this, models will only use their own sets of knowledge on which they have been trained on to answer your questions. This topic is quite deep, and this is a topic for Module 2, in which we'll look into the science and the theory behind AI deeper, okay? Neither they are databases, because a model is essentially based on probability theory in mathematics. And probability is inconsistent, which is why models will almost never give the same exact answer twice. Now, the answer may be similar, but it will not be the same. Now, why it is not a database? It's a very simple answer. We cannot possibly put all the data we have known throughout history into a database. It's too much information. And predicting can be inconsistent. Models sometimes hallucinate, etc. So it's not a database. And most importantly, models are not people. Even though models can give you a continuous experience, it has memory. Within a chat, it's called context. You chat with an AI model for long enough, and it could feel like an entity that kind of remembers you. It has opinions on you or opinions on your project, and it genuinely cares about you. And I remember a very specific case when ChatGPT 4.0 or 4 Omni came out. And it was a terrible model, which essentially reassured and reaffirmed almost everything that the user wanted. And because of this, people became delusional. People developed psychosis. Some people fell in love with AI models. Some people married AI models. People got genuinely attached to the artificial intelligence, which is dystopian, right? But this is the world we live in now. This is the way it is. So it's important not to develop a relationship with these things. Okay? Because a large language model has no goals in between messages. It has no memory, right? Unless you have it turned on and unless it's within your chat. And the model does not care about you. It is simply predicting the best possible response all of the time. It doesn't have feelings, doesn't have a brain. It's cold and it's algorithmic. Now, what does the AI landscape look like today? Well, there is two countries, okay? We have the United States and we have China. United States first. Of course, ChatGPT or OpenAI. Claude, what I use by Anthropic. We have Google with its Gemini. We have Grok, Elon Musk, Twitter, X. We have Meta with its Llama model. Microsoft, 5.4, Copilot, which is, by the way, powered by OpenAI. And we also have Amazon. Now, as for China, DeepSeek. It's very interesting. Alibaba is interesting because of Quen. And other than these two, there's also ByteDance, Baidu, GLM5, Tencent, and Moonshot. Now, the answer on which country is better at making AI is complicated because it depends on what you need. If you need the highest quality responses and the highest intelligence, the United States wins. However, If you want cost efficiency, China wins. When it comes to API usage, models like DeepSeek are incredibly cost efficient. If you were to run a business in which you need a lot of tokens, then China would save you a lot of money. Now, what should you use? And here it depends. If you are a student, a high school student or a university student, you can use Gemini and the entire Google AI stack for free. If you happen to be a university or a high school student, take advantage of this. You essentially get something like $300 a year worth of usage. Now, if you're willing to spend $0, OpenAI, Anthropic, Gemini, you're gonna have to use them all because you are going to run out of tokens and run out of usage limits pretty quickly. Now, if you are willing to spend a little bit of money, for example, $20, $30 a month, I recommend using Claude. It is what I use. It's been great. I've used OpenAI, I've used Gemini, and all three are very good. Now, ChatGPT tends to be on the softer side of conversation. It tends to give you a lot of garbage in responses. Claude is much more straight to the point, in my experience. And it's also cheaper. Now, that is basically it, what I wanted to talk about. If you haven't done so already, open Claude, Gemini, open Gemini, or make your account. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one.